All right, we have 69 minutes of talk time apparently, so we're gonna use it all. No. Welcome to the Milo Beasley Show, episode number 155.
It's a lot of shows, man.
Yeah, I've been doing it every week for 3 years now,
Vlog style, bro.
My guest this week, Dave Prazak. How you doing, man?
Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you.
The Mega Powers reunite.
Yeah.
Fipping it up once again here in the state of Florida.
Yeah, those were good times, right? The FIP?
That was fucking great times. Can I swear on this thing?
Yeah, it's the internet.
Sorry about that. I'm a foul-mouthed person who just got done running a wrestling show, and it's hot and stuff. But I drove down here from Chicago. This is the first time I actually made the drive.
Oh, okay. How long is that drive?
It ended up taking me a little over 30-something hours because I did stop a few times for food and to fill up my gas tank, but I did not stop to sleep.
Did not stop. And did you drive the whole time, or did you switch off with somebody?
I drove by myself.
Oh.
And here's the thing. The night that I left, I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning with the intent of being on the road by 4 a.m. And getting out of Chicago before rush hour traffic on a weekday. And because of various reasons and forgetting about I had to pack this other thing and I still have to pull something off the website, put it back up. I didn't leave until 5 p.m. Had already been awake for over 12 hours and I'm like, all right, I'm getting on the road. And then I made the drive after that, which was if you did it straight and steady 70 miles per hour, it would probably take 18, 19 hours. But I got to the point where I started to get tired, and I was like, is it really worth an extra $60 to $70 to stop to take a nap at a motel for 4 hours before they'd kick me out? Because I'd have to get that room at 7 a.m.
Right.
And then checkout times 10 or 11, and they weren't making any exceptions. So I was like, really, bro? I just want to take a 3-hour nap. I'll be out of your hair. You can sell the room to somebody else. They're like, no, sorry, 65 plus tax. And I'm gonna keep driving.
Yeah, and depending on where you go, you could end up dead. So at those little roadside places.
Yes, but I didn't mind the drive because. Some of these drives, in the Midwest that we would do, through Indiana or up into Wisconsin and Minnesota, you're driving through cornfields, and it's really boring. But you cut through Indiana, which I was used to doing that Chicago to Louisville, Kentucky drive for years for Ian Rotten, who was at the show today, by the way.
Oh, was he?
Ian Rotten showed up. American Kickboxer was also here.
Did not see.
Yeah, they randomly contacted me this week. Hey, mind if we stop by Shimmer? I'm like, yes. You helped me out 18 to 20 years ago in independent wrestling. Yes, you can come to my show.
So you're down here.
But it was scenic driving, is what I was going to say. Once you get through Indiana, which isn't that bad, and cut through Indianapolis, Louisville. Driving through Kentucky and the mountains of Tennessee, across into Chattanooga, across the Alabama-Tennessee border into Atlanta and stuff. I didn't mind at 5 o'clock in the morning going through the mountains and stuff. It's at least scenic, and I had never done that drive before, and it wasn't bad. Usually people would say, yeah, 0 sleep for 20 hours, it's a pain in the ass drive, but I had no complaints.
Cool, awesome, and of course you did that to come down here to Orlando WrestleMania weekend. Shimmer 91, man. 91. See, I've done
91 shows.
Yeah, I've done 155 of these things, but you've done 91 shows, man.
Yeah, over 11 years.
Over 11 years, yeah.
Doing this stuff, and it was all conceived in the car with Sal on one of those FIP weekends where he's like, hey, we're selling FIP DVDs and the Ring of Honor stuff, and we could try a women's product. And I'm like, yeah, I was gonna try to help Ian Rotten run some women's shows. He's like, yeah, I'll distribute it for you. World Wrestling Network can handle it. And I'm like, okay, we'll give it a shot. And went well, so
yeah.
I'm too stupid to decide to stop running shows.
Yeah, but you do things a little different than what most, I guess, companies would, is where they would run, monthly or every 2 months. You're pretty much like twice a year, but 2 days, or the last time I guess was three days of how many
film 5 shows worth of content, because it's like, especially with the type of show that we do, where we have like lots of female wrestlers from different parts of the world. It's really hard to get them all available on the same weekend to be in the same place at the same time, and it's also really expensive to do that. So the only way to really make it feasible is if they get several matches wrestling for Shimmer, so they get paid from me, and we can time it the right way so they can also be on the Shine shows and maybe do stuff for Lexi Fife's website. So it all works out. We split all the travel and everything in this banner.
That happened last time.
Oh, the humanity of it all.
Yeah, these shoddy productions.
Yeah, I mean, we do it sort of as a taping, like how they tape television shows sometimes 3 or 4 at a time.
Right, and
we have to do it the same way.
I think, when you look at the DVDs and stuff that you guys produce, you get more bang for your buck, because there's like 15 matches per.
So we're trying to be more like reasonable these days, and keeping it to like 10, 11 if we're pushing it. Right. There were some shows there that were like 14, 15 matches. They were like way too much.
Right.
So we started cutting that down, so it wasn't. It's like these shows can't be longer than 3 hours and 10 minutes.
And of course, this is the second time you have been down here. You guys were Shimmer was down here for Volume 14
back in 07,
possibly
summer of 07, I think.
Yeah. So
in Inverness.
Wow, man, this stuff went down there. But yeah, so you've been doing Mania weekend for a couple of years now, right? Like with the whole WWN product.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's good. It's like built-in audience during Mania weekend, people that want to see Evolve, or in years past when they were Dragon Gate USA shows, and Chikara's been involved, and Kaiju Big Battle. Yeah. It's a whole big weekend now.
Yeah, next year.
And Progress this weekend.
Yeah.
2,000 people for their show, and then still later on tonight, as we're filming this, it's Evolve versus Progress.
Yeah, super show. Like that's gonna be insane. There,
it's insanity, and now there's 66 different wrestling shows during the course of the whole week.
Yes,
everybody's trying to get a piece of the pie.
Right, and some of those companies are drawing like 4 people.
Oh, so, sorry, Beasley.
So maybe not everybody should run. Maybe you should. Honestly,
I think companies should work together, where it's like X, Y, and Z promotions present this combined show.
Right, kind of like this. Like obviously, you're not working. You're not normally working with a Chikara or a Progress, but this weekend it's all part of the More Than Mania
big super show. Those Mercury Rising super show.
Right. So honestly, if I was a promoter here in Florida, which I used to be, but not anymore. If I was, I'd be running next week or 2 weeks, and I'd be flyering all these shows like that. Locally,
that would be great too. But how many people are leaving town? People that don't live.
But in still, there. I mean, tourists, true. Right? But there are some, a lot, but there's still a lot of locals. I mean, but I wouldn't be trying to compete, with all these other super shows. Right. So So how long were you involved in wrestling before you started Shimmer?
The first Shimmer show was late 2005. The first show I ring announced on was February 96. So this is 21 years.
Wow, that's So you finally
don't notice I got a little Great Muda going on. I'm gonna Shining Wizard somebody pretty soon. I've given up on the Just for Men to keep this.
Do you find it insane? Obviously, a lot of talent came through that Midwest area and through that Northeast area that you were working in, and especially in FIP. I
started in that era with like Mike Quackenbush, as Chikara is about to get started as we film this, but Quack and like Don Montoya and Reckless Youth and that whole crew, Ace Darling, Devin Storm, and they were coming down and doing Ronimi stuff at the time. Yeah.
Yep. And then a bunch of the guys that we worked. I mean, literally, there's nobody that was with DP Associates that didn't get signed who were involved with our group that hadn't got signed to either TNA or WWE or became a world champion. And it's cool to be like, hey, like I worked with that guy. It's
I don't know. This guy named Phil might have said, hey, Milo Beasley's a good name.
Right, yeah, that's right. People are like, hey, how'd you get your name? I'm like,
I don't know, some guy named Phil. He's trying to be in real fights. Real fights are for assholes, though.
He said, what would be funny is if we did this gimmick with like this guy in his wheelchair. And man, it worked for a long time.
It did work.
So much heat.
And like, I'm. What surprised me, I think I mentioned this to you yesterday, but I repeated it to Sal and a bunch of other people. I was like, how different. It's a different generation of indie wrestlers that are on the scene now, occupying the majority of these locker rooms and these shows than even just when we were doing the DP Associates stuff in FIP, like, and that was what, 8 years ago.
Yeah, 2000. I started with 2005, so yeah, so
like, but it was 10, for a good period of 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's like it wasn't that long ago. But as I walked in, once I arrived into town, I showed up at the first Evolve show or whatever. Like all these WWN staffers, like 8 people maybe didn't know who the fuck I was, didn't recognize me. Not that I'm a superstar or anything, but it's like, you guys work for Sal, and like we've even been doing these shows every WrestleMania weekend, and nobody. I'm like one or two people actually. Like, I'm like, come on. I know I'm old, but like that old that I'm like, they're like, you really don't know. Like, we were on like every fucking FIP show for several years.
Not only every
featured role.
Not only every FIP show, we were every other segment.
Yeah, yeah. Because the stable was so huge, and everybody has a match. So I'm like, okay, fine. Kevin Harvey, who ring announced for Shimmer, has been doing these seminars in Chicago where he'll bring in a trainer, and one of them was Ace Steel. Great. Trained CM Punk, trained me, helped train Adam Pearce to an extent, Cabana in Chicago, and Steel Domain Wrestling Academy, which was open from like late 98 through like 2001-ish. And so we're like, he's one of those guys that we could bring in, and he hasn't trained anybody in Chicago in years. He moved to Missouri, was running assistant trainer at Harley Race's school for a while. How about we give the Chicago wrestling scene the opportunity to train with Ace Steel again, because they didn't have the chance. By the time they broke into the business, Steel Domain didn't even exist anymore, so like they would kill for an opportunity like that. And we realized not too many of the guys that wrestle in 2017 know who the hell Ace Steel was. He's a great wrestler and everything, but when you really think about it, he was operating a wrestling school 20 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
17 to 20 years ago. Yeah, the poster's sticking up for Ace Steel too.
Yeah. We're writing
if need be.
If people don't show up for Ace Steel,
hold this up.
Yeah, man. You're doing like you got to get paid around here. You got to be doing some work.
Hold up the set, bro. But didn't realize that like a lot of these guys don't know. Like they might have heard of him because Cabana mentions them all the time, but it's like they never saw Ace Steel have a match because it was 17 years ago that he was on the scene. It's like, it was that long ago. Right. Like I realized like it would be similar to when I was breaking in, somebody saying, hey, we got this guy that trained everybody in 71. You better do a 7. I'm like, what? So I guess the long story short, we're old.
Yeah.
And the longer that you're in wrestling, the more obvious it is that like the stuff that to us seems like it was just a couple of years ago, it was a lifetime ago.
Yeah, to me, like it seems just like it was a couple of years ago that we were.
It was. I mean, 7 years is a short period of time in a 21-year career. Yeah. How many years have you been? What is this? What year is this for you?
I started in '98, so I mean, I did 18 full years. Competitive years. Yeah. So what's next for Shimmer after Shimmer '91?
We're running July 8th and 9th in Chicago, and Kevin's gonna do a Rise seminar on the Friday and a Rise show during the evening. Like the standouts from the seminar, put on the show later in the night, and if they do really well, maybe we'll throw them a match on Shimmer later in the weekend. It's a great opportunity for young wrestlers to not only learn from Tom Pritchard, who's going to be the seminar instructor for that one, but also maybe get future bookings out of it from us or from like 3 or 4 different promoters from different promotions show up to scout talent because they want to find a women's match for their next show coming up or whatever. So and everybody's getting signed these days. Like 6 different Shimmer girls got signed in like a 4-month span.
Oh, that's...
And so it's like we got to fill those spots. So a lot of what we did today was building up Shotzi Blackheart, Britt Baker, Kellyanne, without her mask, Dulce Maria Garcia is a part of the roster now. A big lucha veteran. So like we're just trying to set the table for what we've got coming up with some of the same faces, but we got to fill those spots that were Kimberly and Heidi Lovelace.
Right.
And, you know, everybody else, Crazy Mary, Evie, all of these girls that got signed. And who knows who's going to be next?
Who knows who's going to be next?
We've always got.
They're still signing. They're still signing people today.
Well, they're going to do the big tournament. I heard that as our show is going on iPay-per-view air, they held the press conference announcing their 32-woman tournament coming up later this summer. And you will probably see some Shimmer-affiliated people in that, because very similar to what they did with that Cruiserweight tournament, where it's like, you know, they don't have to have them completely under exclusive contract to throw a few people on, you know, an NXT show or like even on Raw. Like there were some guys that were like booked for Raw, and then on that Saturday we're working like some bingo hall.
Right, like Lindsay, Tony Nese.
And in Chicago, like Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa were doing the AAW shows, and then booked for Raw the next day or whatever. It's like Prince Ali, same thing. So it's a very interesting time for the wrestling business as a whole, when
I think it's about to wrap up here. Like, I think that's what it means. Some
random indie wrestlers are also like picking up side bookings for Monday Night Raw.
So I think we like
so different than it used to be.
On the Milo Beasley Show, before we wrap up, is a top five. I ask a random question, but top five favorite, no particular order, favorite tag teams of all time.
Wow. Let's see. I would have to say, Portia President's going to see this, right?
I mean, does she have the internet? Do they have the internet in Canada?
She's not going to find it.
Okay.
I just didn't want her to hear. But Canadian Ninjas were, I mean, 2-time tag team champions. I don't want her to find out that I actually like put her over.
Right.
But
she'll never know.
I mean, I like old wrestling. You know, like Brainbusters were always good.
Yep.
Any of like the Horseman teams, you know, Tully and R and fucking throwing, you know, you know, whatever. Let's see, other tag teams. Rock and Roll Express, Heavenly Bodies. I was a big Smoky Mountain wrestling fan. So Midnights, I mean, Heavenly Bodies and Midnights can kind of be on the same page, because, you know, they blended together. Bobby Eaton was a part of the Heavenly Bodies for a little while there, and Stanley was a part of the
I love Bobby Eaton, like one of my favorite of all time.
Yeah. Fantastic. So it doesn't have it, but Rock and Roll, Midnights, Heavenly Bodies, in Shimmer, I guess, the Ninjas, but was that five?
That was five.
Okay.
Yeah, that was five.
Five.
So where can folks find you?
Like Bundy.
Five. Where can folks find you on the social medias if they want to follow you or follow Shimmer?
I'm just at Dave Prazak on Twitter. Shimmer is at Shimmer Women, and it's the same thing. Just search Shimmer Women Athletes on Facebook. There is an International Shimmer Women Athletes Facebook group. It's not just about the international ones. It's kind of international because we have fans all over the world that can sign up for the thing. But shimmerwrestling.com for all of our video releases. We were behind on DVDs really bad, but Sal assured me he's like, if you can have 15. I'm now doing like a Paul Heyman impersonation for Sal for some reason, but if you can come up with 15 DVDs and have them edited, we will release 15 DVDs in the next 3 months. And I'm like, deal, bro. Puente's gonna do nothing but edit for the next 3 months.
Sorry.
So we can get caught up on our video, because we're 15 shows behind as of right now, like a year of content behind. But Puente does have like 3 edited and ready to go right now. We just have to submit them. So we're gonna put 4 out here during April, another 4 in May, and then. So by the time our July shows roll around, if we're not completely caught up, we're very close to it. So thank you to Sal and WWN and Puente for doing lots of editing these next few weeks.
And don't forget, you can always follow me on all the socials at The Wrestling Bum. Give me the thumbs up on the facebook.com/ The Milo Beasley Show, and of course the MiloBeasleyShow.com, where you can catch all of our episodes that you may have missed.
With all the Shimmer talent that occasionally visits.
A ton of Shimmer talent that's come down and done Shine and Slammin' Ladies. A ton. And I mean, you can maybe attribute some of their signings.
Yeah, you give them the exposure on the tubes of the U style.
So thank you very much for sitting down and chatting with me.
Good to see you again. We should do this more often.
Yes, and I mean, chat, not necessarily in front of a camera.
It can't be in front of a camera, but I can do that drive again one of these days.
Maybe I will do the drive up to the Chicago. I went up there once. I was in Chicago once. Yeah, I caught
once. Only once.
Only once.
Then didn't want to come back after that.
No,
horrible experience, right?
Super busy doing other stuff. World traveling bum.
It's not a bad city.
Nope. I liked it. I ate at the. Was it the Ugly Goat, or I think that was it. I don't know. The
Giordano's is always good for.
Oh, I had yes. Yep. So thank you for watching episode number 155.
Thank you for watching. It's a lot, but keep staying tuned in.
Yeah. Keep watching. We're gonna have some awesome guests here in the future. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Yay, I'm entertaining.